Hey, this is Seth. Keeping it real. When you are finding a product from a factory and you want to have that factory build a product, and if the product is brand new, it's never seen the market before, you're really excited about it because you see a huge opportunity, and the product is a little more high risk. Something could go wrong more easily, or maybe it's a higher price product. It's a little more expensive, such as you're going to get it at $20 per item minimum order quantity. This can be a really tough situation because you're about to give your money to an international supplier who you've never seen before, you've never met them face to face. How do you know that you can trust them? How do you know that you can work with them? And so, what you do is you find an inspector. An inspector is someone who their job is to go and test at the factory. They're going to test the people, they're going to talk, they're going to ask questions, they're going to find out and make sure that you can trust them when you buy a product from them, especially if that factory is asking you for a T/T. It means telegraphic transfer. It's where you're wiring money directly over to them. So this is very important that you get a factory inspector if you're in one of these situations, especially if you're going to wire the money. And there are some legitimate suppliers out there who do not work with trade assurance and Alibaba, which, as you know, protects you, and they also do not work with PayPal. They will only accept a wire transfer. And so if that's the case, you need an inspector. Now, I so happen to be privileged to know an amazing inspector. I actually just had the inspection done this evening, which was like 10 a.m. over there in China. And I was really, really impressed with what a great job they did. So I'm going to show you some video clips, but just a couple tips ahead of time. Cost-wise, you're looking at a couple $100 perhaps per inspection is pretty reasonable. There are two kinds of inspections. One is called a factory inspection. That's where they go in and they look at the factory. Things that they're going to look at is, well, first of all, they're going to need to talk to a production manager. So if you set them up to test the factory and to look at the factory, you need to say, hey, okay, the person you're usually communicating with is the salesperson for the company. You need to say, I need a contact person for the inspector. And that person is usually going to be a production manager. You need also to get their cell phone number so the inspector can call the production manager and set up a time to meet them over there. Once they get over there, they need to ask generally at least two things. Number one, what is the factory? Show me the factory. And this is called a general factory inspection. And that includes the production facilities, it includes the warehouse, and very importantly, it includes the production process. And you're going to see in the videos later that this factory we inspected did not have a production process. And so that inspector was relentlessly asking questions. He did a really good job, and they still could not prove that they had the process needed. Secondly, you want to know that this factory is producing the product they claim to produce. So here's what happens in China. A lot of times, the person who says they have a factory and they're going to give you this device and you're going to buy it from them, they're actually buying it from another factory. And this other factory has no contact with the outside international world. They're not even set up for that. So that factory makes the product, sells it to this factory, and this factory telling you that they're making it is selling it to you. Now, I don't think that in and of itself is wrong. There's nothing illegal about that or shady. But if the factory that you're speaking with is not being honest with you, that is a concern. And in China, and please know this is nothing against Chinese people. I have great Chinese friends whom I love and respect. But in China, that is a very common problem, where they will claim it is their factory, even though the proof is not there, and it really isn't. And to many factories in China, that's just totally normal, and that's how they do business, which can cause a lot of issues. Let me explain why that can be an issue. Let's say you order from a factory, and that is not the factory producing it. They're actually buying it from another factory that's producing it, because this factory is sort of like a sales front-end team. They're almost like selling it for the factory, but they're calling themselves a factory when all they have is an office. And by the way, when you have the inspection done, you need to get the address of the factory, not just the office, because a lot of times those can be two separate buildings in two different locations. So let's say you order your products from this factory, and they say it's going to take 2 months to produce it. And you're like, okay, fine. Now, when you order that and they go to the other factory to have them produce it, there's very little accountability. You're not talking to the people actually making the product. And what if this time they produce it with really solid plastic, but the second time when you order a larger quantity, they use an inferior plastic, or they use a different production process, or a different Pantone color for the product you're using. And so what happens is your customers end up getting this inconsistent product. I've seen this many times on Amazon specifically, where the reviews will say, man, the first one I bought was great, but the second one was a different size and a different color. Probably this kind of situation happening. That is why it is so important that you know exactly who is producing your product. And you need to be very careful if it turns out they're not legit. So when you have the inspector go in, they need to do a full factory inspection. They need to look at the warehouse. They need to look at the production process. And they need to verify that this product is being produced by this factory. And if not, the factory needs to be honest about that. That's really, really important when you're doing international business. Now, it might seem a little intimidating, a little weird at first. Man, I'm going to pay someone who I don't know to go inspect a factory I've never seen and a country I've never visited, whose language I do not speak. Well, let me tell you, the inspector I recommend is absolutely stellar. It's not just one inspector. It is a company with numerous people, multi-languages they speak. Therefore, they can find someone that speaks your language and also speaks the language of the indigenous people there, which really helps a lot. It's called FBAHelp.net. FBA, like fulfilled by Amazon, help.net. If you go there, you can sign up and you can even find one of the guys there, Alex. He's the guy I've been communicating with on WeChat. He is the guy who set me up with this and got me the inspector that I needed. The communication there is stellar. And if you get WeChat on your phone, so just download it onto your phone, it's like a messaging app. And the reason a lot of people in China use that is because the government is much more strict on what kind of websites they have access to. So WeChat works really well. Also, WhatsApp, WHATSAPP also works really well. A lot of them are on these, and you can just message them on an iPhone or a Galaxy as if you were just doing regular messages and texting. And you also, what's really cool about it is on the WeChat on your phone, not on the computer yet, but on the phone, you can do a video call. So while you're talking to the inspector, you're watching them walk around, talk to the people at the factory. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you. Hello, Vladimir. Can you hear me, ma'am? Okay, there you go. I can hear you now. I can hear you. We're good. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Now I change camera view.
Okay.
Here I think some assembly line. Here have some workers make packing, finished product, but here just plastic. It's I don't know yet. But here I think don't have toys. About producing this plastic, I know how you producing plastic. I don't know how you make assembling this after you producing plastic.
Yes, I know the machine you think that making the actually just when I talk with my product manager and I know that it's broken and it will list at least 20 days to repair it.
Yes, I know. Do you have other workshop where you make producing this assembly? You're talking about different things. You told me that you not produce this because some machine is broken.
I know that you want to see the whole process.
Yes, whole process. Yes. Can you show me? For other things, maybe you have.
For other things,
Hey, Vladimir, ask her.
I think this is it's totally different companies.
That was my suspicion. Hey, Vladimir. Vladimir, ask Mary if they are having a different factory produce the and they're buying it from that factory and then selling it to me. That was what I suspected, and I really want to know.
I know. I asked already about this. This factory like this. They place order in one place, but they cannot show full process. Because we need know. Is you really produce this or just reseller?
现在这款产品现在没有做，现在没有这款产品的订单呢。
Because the order we haven't got it, and we don't haven't set to produce it, so you can't see the full process. But already show the machine that actually make it, right?
Yeah, I know. Do you have molds for this? Molds.
这是那个模具。
模具，有吗？
Because the machine for this place, for making this place is broken and is be taken to repair. So
Machine or some molds? Because it's not machine do this. It's just it's any machine. Yeah. Do you have just one sample of this, or maybe because if you're producing this, maybe you have some stock or some other things. If you're really producing this, anyway, it's my buffer. You must have some broken things or some no good things.
配件，像这个东西，这个是从外面买过来的，这个螺丝钉。
For example, one machine produce one part. This other machine, other parts. Where you make this together, like this way? Where?
Just,
Which place, here or in the first factory?
from Peter, we know that this and this is from we buy from.
Yeah, of course, metal parts you buy. Yeah, plastic.
For making it together.
Yes.
Together, and the mold is actually broken. And we.
They told that mold, it's a mold for producing these plastic things is broken. So they cannot show this, but they told that they produce. But I think it's no.
Yeah, tell Vladimir.
How about give you another suggestion? When the mold is repaired, you can go once again to see it.
Mary.
We will see.
Mary. For me to do. Hi, Mary. For me to do this order, I need to know that you actually are making the. And I'm not convinced yet. I need to know that your company is making the, and you're not a reseller. Do you understand what I mean?
You need to be first seller, not like trading company who buy other things and just resale.
Exactly.
Yes, I understand. Yeah, yes, I know you understand, and we think that maybe when the mold is repaired, and you can to have I don't know how to call you to come to the factory again to actually check the mold.
Okay.
That's acceptable.
But you realize I'm paying them, the inspector, to inspect it. So if they come again, they have to charge again. I had them inspect the factory so you could prove that you are producing. So if I have to have them come out again, I have to pay them again because your factory wasn't ready. Do you see what I mean? I need you, Mary, to convince. You got to convince me. Oh, I will pay for it. I have the money, but I need you to convince me that you are the actual producer. And then there's trust, and then we can work together.
Okay, I think maybe I need to talk with my product manager.
Okay.
Okay.
Now she will talk with Peter. So I think this is they not produce it because it's a totally different. They just trading company, just reseller, just buy from others. We come here, they don't know here nothing. It's I can go to any place and say, oh, it's my factory. Like this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's normal and nobody care about it's normal. In China, it's normal for product like this.
Mm-hmm.
For like this product, it's normal. It's everywhere like this. It's very difficult to find real who produce it.
Okay.
Real.
Yeah.
But it also can.
Okay.
Because they say this mold is broken. It's fake. It's fake. It's.
That's not true. Yeah. It's
possible.
yeah. So why don't they just come out and be honest and say, hey, we get it from another company, you know?
This is China.
We have a solution now, and maybe I should.
Yeah.
或者给他们拍视频或者拍图片，或者自己过来看一下都可以。
After talking with my product manager to earn your trust, we think maybe before you place the order and pay us the 50% deposit. Before that, you can ask the inspector to the factory to see the mold and then pay the deposit. What do you think?
Well,
They talk about different things. They think you're afraid to pay money for them.
yeah.
He told about other things because he paid for every inspection. For example, he paid for me money to come here, and if I come here one more time or other people come here no time, he need pay more. Yeah, he also lose money and lose time because it's money is nothing. Time is also very difficult.
I know, but maybe this is the only way that we can actually make to let him trust me, to be convinced, you know.
So they told that you need to trust them. One mold for this. It's around 2-3,000 USD. For this 2-3,000 USD, it's the most expensive things in this. Mold is expensive thing. So if this broken, it's need producing maybe new. It's impossible, or it's broken. If broken injection machine, it's other things. But injection machine, you can put this mold to other things. Where is molds for producing this? Real molds.
真正的做这个的模具要看看。
模具是吧？那现在那个什么，现在那个模具在修理，也不在这边。
模具在修理。
对，就是我跟你说的这个地方。
Where is molds for this? Whole parts. Oh, for example, okay, if you don't have this, where is for these parts? For these parts, where is? For these parts, for these parts.
就是说。
Okay, no, don't show me this. Show me this.
他说这个坏了，那做这旁边的东西的模具呢？This is a whole.
No.
What?
It's one in one producing this.
Yes. We put it together. One mold can make the whole thing.
Okay, so you don't have nothing now. Yeah. You don't have these molds now in factory.
For the moment, but before he pay the deposit, we can show you. Maybe you can come to the factory again before he pay the money.
Okay, we will check with Seth about this.
So, yeah, Vladimir, if you can you put Mary on the microphone real quick? Can you hear me, Mary?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So when I sent the inspector, and I paid money to the inspector to check the factory, but you don't have enough proof in the factory to convince me that you are making the... So I can't do business with you if you can't prove that to me. And if your company is buying from another factory and then they make it, then you buy it from them and then you ship it to me, I need to know that. You need to tell me that. Otherwise, there is no trust. But you have not proven that you guys make, and you should have told me that before the inspector came out. There's nothing for me now. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, I know. Wait a minute. 他说就是说他想知道。
It's somewhere in China, already around 5 years here, and sometimes see just really interesting things.
So you see this? Do you see this a lot, Vladimir?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is your thought about it? What do you think?
I think they really not produce. They don't have this mold because mold it's high cost things for producing these plastic things. Because I also make before inspection for molds. It's have experience by this.
Yeah.
And I know this is a much expensive things in this whole process.
Right.
So, they don't have this. If they don't have this, they don't have nothing.
Yeah.
So they just place order in other place. They not place. They just buy from other place. They not produce nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
They just buy from other place and just make some 10% more and resell
Right.
to you. It's
Right.
just,
So when I ordered a sample from them, it took them over 30 days to get it to me. It took them over 30 days. And that's why I was curious, like, why would it take 30 days for one sample? You have to have one, you know? And that's why I became suspicious.
Because I need buy it in Taobao or something. or sell to you from AliExpress.
That's too funny. You know, if they said, Seth, we are buying it from another factory and we're making money off of that and then we sell it to you, I would trust them more if they at least tell me. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like,
yeah. You can ask, is this your factory? Yes, this is my factory. Yes, mine. But he doesn't here. So it's normal way in China.
Yeah.
Some factory who really produce that, as they don't have, for example, a license for trading.
I understand.
So they also can produce it and for sale it for foreigners to make export license.
Export
license.
Yeah.
They also can produce it. But for export to make other companies, like trading companies, they, for example, have some 10 or 15 partners who make this business. So they just produce, make percentage, some profit, and just resale.
Yeah.
Just for this.
Yeah. Okay.
For product like this, it's normal. I don't know. I think difficult to find it's really who produce it and really who sell it.
Well, guys, I hope you really, really enjoyed that and hope that gave you some helpful ideas. Did you notice how relentless the inspector was getting and he kept asking him the question? Like, no, I need to see the production process. That's the kind of inspector you want. You want someone who is not just going to be nice and polite, but actually finds out the facts. I want to know I can trust this factory because I'm giving them my hard-worked money. And I'm not just going to give it to anyone. I'm going to give it to someone who's going to take that, make me a product that's going to triple and quadruple and quintuple my money. Hey, this is Seth, Keeping It Real. Let me know how I can help you. I'm a coach for people building income on Amazon. If you're looking for someone to do that, let me know. This is what I do. It's what I love to do. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.